In this video, I'm going to play through Mario 1, the All-Stars version, while giving you soft commentary with rain, hopefully helping you get some good sleep tonight. Just sit back, relax, and let me take control as we go through this classic game. If you'd like to see the other All-Stars games, you can check the playlist on my channel, where you should be able to find all the others, so Mario 2, Mario 3, and Lost Levels. I've already done the original 3 on NES. They are also in the same playlist, so you can find it all there on the channel in the playlist section. I don't expect to die too much in this particular game, especially since I just beat the original without too much headache yesterday. But I will say this, I do not think the All-Stars versions are better than the originals. I just don't. I think they're the only upgrade they really got was the actual visuals. I think everything else is inferior, to be honest. The controls, they're not as precise. They're a lot more floaty than the original games, I feel. Like, this game feels nowhere near as precise as the original NES version to me. And the music, at least in this particular version, not the greatest. It's kind of weird, and they tried to Super Nintendoize it, and I honestly think it's a huge downgrade from the original 8-bit songs. It just sounds weird and honky and just weird. It sounds like a horn, kind of. It sounds hokey. So I was never really a fan of this particular one. Maybe it gets better in the other two games, but in this particular one, the soundtrack is kind of awful, to be honest. I can... Yeah, I knew there was something up there. I don't know if that was in the original or not. We'll take this route because we never took it in the first game. The first game, we just went kind of from 4 to 5. So let's see where this little secret takes us. The graphics are nice. I'll give it that. The graphics do look good, but the controls and the music is just bad. We can go all the way to World 8 from here. I might actually do a warped and warpless version in this video just to extend the length, because this is going to be a very short video if this is all we're going to do is warp between, 3 different worlds really fast. So we'll just call this the quick route, and then we will do the full proper warpless route in a moment. I feel like doing it all, doing this and like having a 5-minute Mario video would be kind of cheating and not help you sleep at all. So we'll do both versions. I feel like the floatiness is the worst on Mario 3, where the original feels incredibly refined, and the All-Stars version just feels kind of weird to me, personally. Maybe there's a ROM hack out there that fixes it, but and I played the Mario 3 original, the Mario 3 All-Stars version a billion times as a kid, but now as an adult, when I've played both back to back, it's just like, it has this weird unpreciseness to it. It's kind of floaty, and Mario feels like he's like 400 pounds, it's kind of weird. This particular one isn't bad, but it's still nowhere near as precise as the original. This one's okay. It's mainly 3 where they got, added about 300 pounds to Mario's actual weight. But I will say that the original game felt that little spot. That's going to be a troublemaker, isn't it? There we go. We got past it. It's fine. Lost Levels is a bit more difficult to actually, was difficult period because it's a harder game, but Lost Levels is actually a little harder to play on an emulator because it wasn't for the original Famicom. Um, it was the Famicom Disk System, which was like an add-on, and I don't know if there's a easy way to play the Japanese Mario 2, which was, what we got is Lost Levels over here, on like the NES version. I'm gonna have to look into it so we can actually do that at some point. But I swear to God, I hate Hammer Bros. They're like the worst enemy in gaming, in my opinion. They're just not fun. Now go up there. Yeah, you just go up there. If I could delete one enemy out of gaming, it would be Hammer Bros. Seriously. Because they are always just, they're just annoying. The little trolls is what they are. By the way, in this version, I'm almost positive you can't jump past the piranha plant lips like you can in the original. Because the original was, see what I mean? They're just so, I feel like they're random. Like they don't really have any rhyme or reason for why they do what they do. They're just little trolls. We're already at world 8-4, which, how long have I been recording this? Probably not very long. 6 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes. No, we're gonna do a warpless version of this as well. Okay, I will give Mario All-Stars 1 one credit about their music. The castle thing in the first game is a banger. I'll give it that. They did do it correctly. They added a lot more depth to it and a lot more creep factor to it. They really didn't nail the castle theme for the remake. The other track's terrible. Well, you know what? I don't know. Like the underwater thing is okay. Not underwater. Underground thing is okay. The water level, ugh. The soundtrack for that is kind of ugh. But the castle theme right here that I'm listening to that you can look up, because I turned the audio off because it'll probably be very jarring hearing all that thunder and lightning and all that in the game. But I think they really did nail the castles. They did nail the castle thing. And I just lost to a piranha plant right there. And the pipe I was supposed to go in. So a way to, here's how you remember what pipes you're supposed to go in for this particular level to get through. Just basically, whenever you see a pipe after lava, that's the pipe you go in. So all the correct pipes are the ones that come after lava in this level. And I'm being surrounded by bloopers and I barely got past that one. I'm just gonna, they got lucky there. So yeah, all the lava bits are, that fireball got me right on the bottom. Come on, buddy. Get out of the way. All right, this Mario 1, the quick version. We're going to save and quit, and then we're going to go back in. So that's a quick version. Let's do it the proper way now. They changed the enemies because the original enemy right there was actually a Goomba. I think they might have actually made it the second one harder because those are Buzzy Beetles. Those are not Goombas. That's a little weird. Okay, there's a little star up there, so maybe it's a little different. This is what I'll do. I'll do world one, then I'll back out really quick, see if there's a way to turn the star off, and then we can see if there's like if that's a thing. I think it might be. Well, you can have like 3 or 4 save files per game, so you can start over. So they give you like 3 save files per game. Well, 4 save files. But those are Buzzy Beetles instead of Goombas, so that's different. I didn't know that there was like a new game plus on these. I learned something today. Today I learned. Did not know that there was a new game plus on these. That adds a lot more replay value. I'm just gonna say it's a new game plus. We're not gonna go and stop just to figure that mystery out. I can look it up after. He definitely weighs more in this particular. Yeah, he definitely weighs a lot more than he did in the original game. Like he's a lot more. He's not as agile is the word. Like, you know, when you jump, it's stiffer in this version is the best way to put it. Like it doesn't. He doesn't have that same control and smoothness. Here we go, World 1-4 Star. It's a new game plus. Whoop. So far, I think really the only actual difference that we're gonna really witness is probably just different enemies. The Buzzy Beetles instead of Goombas, I guess. Maybe a little bit more difficult stage. I cannot get past that spot without taking a hit. It does feel a lot harder than the original, that's for sure. I'm gonna look it up really quick just to see if there's a big difference between the. Okay, so to answer the question, it says right here that in Super Mario All-Stars, the second quest refers to the hard mode, also known as star courses, which are activated by a glitch when saving and quitting, which I did accidentally. This mode replaces original levels with more challenging versions, faster enemies, different enemy types like Buzzy Beetles and Goombas instead of Goombas, and shorter platforms. Yeah. So we're playing hard mode. I did not know that that was a thing. I never heard that before, but I don't know if I want to play through hard mode or not. I guess we could, you know. If it's not going to change the stages themselves, I guess we can just, you know, say we did hard mode. You know, warp was hard mode. Why not? Maybe somebody wants to see that. It's definitely more difficult, but I imagine Lost Levels hard mode is just like, you know, controller smashingly hard. I mean, the original is bad enough. So it's a glitch, but it's not a glitch. I mean, if they literally added it in the game where you have different enemies and more difficult stage layouts and all that, it's not a glitch. It's a feature, as they say. We fixed the glitch. Yes, this is definitely a lot harder than the original that I played yesterday. Yeah, this is way harder. There's a lot more going on, which I'm fine with. I'm not a big fan of super difficult games, but who knows? We can just label it second quest or whatever. I mean, like I said, if they're not going to change the level layouts at all, it's fine. You'll just do do first quest warped and second quest warpless or whatever in the timestamps. Oh my god, bro! This is definitely way harder. There's so much stuff just flying at you. All right, blooper, go away. Go away, blooper. Go away, blooper. God, I can't imagine what 8.4 is going to be like. Oh my god. Alright. I have the excuse this is actually the hard mode. It's not supposed to be easy. That was actually pretty cool. I fell in the pit. I bumped off the edge, and then I bumped off a cheap. I think they're called cheeps or whatever, like the fish dudes or whatever. And oh my god, bro! Look, I'm gonna just play the original. Because that's just not fun. I don't get enjoyment out of that particular type of thing, playing like hard modes and all that. I just don't. This is supposed to be cozy content, not rage content, so we're gonna do this the regular playthrough. So one big difference that you may not know about Mario 1 that they kept the detail in that in Mario Lost Levels, which is the Japanese Mario 2 that we never got over here. Well, maybe until later. Maybe we got it in a compilation or something. But the Lost Levels added a mechanic that was not in the original. On the NES or this version, which is basically if you jump on an enemy, you get extra height. In this game, the original Mario Brothers on NES and the All Stars version, you do not get the extra height when you jump on an enemy. That didn't come until the Lost Levels. I almost went to the warp again by accident, but I didn't. Caught myself right there. But yeah. If you look at Mario, he kind of put on some pounds too. You see he has a little belly now, which is kind of funny because, you know, the way he controls is so much more heavy than normal. So, yeah, this is way more manageable. Almost feels like this is too easy now. I was complaining about the difficulty of the hard mode. And I'm just like, well, it's kind of a walk in the park, really. By the way, I do fast forward the ending animations so we can at least compare and contrast the last two. And yeah, there's a lot more fire sticks in the other version, a double at least. Maybe that's what these little blocks are. They have nothing on them. They're just there, left over from the hard version, maybe. Really? All right, 2-1. By the way, I'm actually kind of shocked that the Mario playthroughs did so well so fast. Like, it just seemed like, my other videos didn't have that great of click-through rates and average view duration, but it's like, when I did Mario, which I thought would be just like kind of a, you know throw it in there for tradition's sake, because I always played the Mario games on my other gaming channels in the past, like, and those never got really any views. I'm not saying they blew up or went viral, but waking up to 30 views on a couple of three Mario videos, all having about 30 views overnight, which it would be nothing for my reaction channel that I was doing, but for gaming, it's massive. Like 30 views on a gaming video for me ever is like, at this point in time would be like having a catfish video that I used to watch, like going to like, 50,000, maybe not that high, more like 10,000, something just, like, wow. Getting over 100 views on a gaming video would feel like, one of them did it, was New Vegas did it. And, I feel like having, 100,000 views to me, or maybe 50,000. I don't know. I don't know the scale, but put it this way, catfish was pretty easy to get 2,000 or 3,000 views on a video with barely any effort. In gaming, you got to work your butt off and you get like 30 views, which is fine though. That's the thing. I went into this gaming reboot knowing it was going to be difficult. I did not expect anything. I still don't expect anything. And you shouldn't expect anything from me either, because I just fell off the same exact spot that I did in the hard mode version. Give me a second to actually get over this and not die doing that. There we go. But yeah, I don't expect anything to come of this really, big views or big sub wise at all. But I decided to go back to gaming because it's what I wanted to do. I actually finally sat down and I said to myself, Johnny, you are going to do what you want. I said, if I'm going to do YouTube after the whole reaction thing happened where, the lawsuit or whatever happened with other people, I didn't get sued, but other people did for doing reaction content. So I quit. Cause I just don't want to get sued basically. After all that happened, I was like, you know what? I want to do YouTube. I want to be a gaming channel. If it gets 30 views or if it gets 10 views, I'm happy because someone actually enjoyed it. So someone actually might have enjoyed what I did. And that's the standard I'm going to keep, is if a video gets, 10 views, I'm happy. If someone says to me in the comments that they fell asleep and finally had a good night's sleep, or that they needed this content, I'm happy. Because it means I helped somebody without tearing anybody down. I don't know how that jump works, and I still don't understand how it exactly works in the original either. Hitting that Koopa would be nice, right? Actually, hitting enemies is a good thing. A 3-2. I may also do a warpless version of, because I did say, and I promised, and I believe the Mario 2 video yesterday, that if the videos got views, I would do a warpless of all of them. So I'm probably going to end up doing a warpless of them as well. But I'm a little bit concerned that it could be seen as reused content because it's the same game and same levels. So I'm a little bit concerned I'm gonna have to do some research on if that's okay, you know, to do two different versions, even though one has like triple or quadruple the levels, you know. So I gotta really toe that line, because if you don't, you can get massively screwed. Let me make sure that I need to check one thing on my camera outside, because I do have someone coming today that I need to look out for. They're not here. Okay, that was a different truck. I don't know if they're gonna text me or call me and say they're on the way. They're supposed to be here between 10 and 2 to work on some stuff in the house. Gotta get some house repairs done. Just small stuff. Nothing scary happened. Just have a few little things that need to be, you know, tuned up and fixed. You know, one thing that's kind of silly is, I'm actually excited a little bit. Not super excited. It's not like, oh my God, you know, my life is saved. I don't use my oven much. I know this is a little bit random, but I don't use my actual full blown, you know, wall mounted oven much. And I realized that the grills that you cook the food on were like really old and crusty and burnt and kind of nasty looking. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if they make replacement grills. And I don't know why I thought they didn't, but I figured, you know, the oven's like 30 years old. Maybe they don't. Well, apparently they do, to the point where there's even like, you know, third, what do you call them? Like third party versions, generics, I guess is the word. But, so I go on Amazon. Well, I go to ChatGPT first, because just give it a picture of my oven, because I wanted to make sure I got the exact right size and model. It turns out that my oven was and it kind of checks out memory wise, but it's a late 1990s oven, so it's at least almost 30 years old, and it works. There's nothing wrong with it. A little dirty on the inside. I need to clean it out again. But it's an old GE. Well, not even old, really. It's 20 some year old GE oven that's like a wall mounted one, and the grills, they actually remade the grills. If you want them from GE, the original OEMs, it's like $60. And it's like, oh my God, for one, not even both. And I go on Amazon and I found, I don't know what the company, Allswell or something, I can't remember. It was all something store. And I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, look, I'm not, you know, some type of professional chef. I just want my, you know, grills to not be nasty. I want to be able to change them out, you know, because they're old and, you know, probably corroded and rusted out and all that. Whoops, I screwed that up. I'm like, will this work? And it's like, yeah, that's fine. It's fine. And they were like $50 for two of them. So we'll see. As long as they fit, it's fine. I mean, it's just a piece of metal. And it's made out of some type of it's made out of the same type of metal that the originals were, so it's probably just GE adding a OEM tax to the stuff. And you know, if those don't work out, we'll send them back. I'll send them back, and I'll just go to GE's website and I'll order the originals for $120 for a couple of oven grills, which is ridiculous. But you know, what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do? Just not ever use your oven ever again? Kind of thing. So that's the thing. The house I live in was Dad's house, and this is personal. I'm living in Dad's house that I grew up in now, because you know, he passed away last year. Rest in peace. And yeah, so a lot of the stuff that we had growing up is still here, and it's old, and it stuff needs maintenance, man. It's like you can't just it just, stuff goes bad, and I've been having to replace things slowly. That was the wrong way. So I've just been slowly but surely over time having to repair little things here and there that break, you know. the wrong way still? You want me to go this way where it's, at least it gives you a little sound indicator saying you went the wrong way. Oh, go down to the bottom. All right, good. Ooh, that was hairy. Poor Bowser gets dumped, or fake Bowser, as we know. Our princess is in another castle. I'm just kind of shocked that Mario's not angry about that. You know how they keep saying, I know it's a video game. Don't worry. I'm not getting too crazy. I'm not going nuts here. But it's like Mario's like, you know, he goes through 7 different worlds, and every time they're like, oh yeah, that was not real Bowser. Like, you know, you basically, you know, we had our dudes like basically unalive themselves more or less. You killed 7 of our friends trying to find this one woman, and like we're gonna just keep saying the princess is in another castle. And it's like, well, why don't you tell me which castle it is so I can just skip all these other castles where I'm jumping over lava and, you know, being attacked by hammer bros and stuff, you know? It's like they know she's in another castle. Why don't you tell me where it is? But no, it's like he goes to every castle, and, you know, at the very end, it's like, oh, she's in another castle. And he's like, okay. And just like does a little peace sign and then goes on with his day. I wish I was that patient. I'm not. I'm not patient at all. I'm the impatient. Okay, we found a little hidden water level apparently. Hopefully this does not send us to a warp, because I was not trying to go to a warp zone. But if we do, I can always just go back to the main menu and pick World 5 and continue from there. As I said, this is going to be the warpless one. I don't know if I prefer the original game's graphics or these. I think the original might be a little better. I don't know. These are kind of nice. Honestly, I just think All Stars is a bit of a downgrade in some areas. The music for sure is a downgrade. I know that 100%. The graphics are good. You know, they're better. They're an upgrade, but I don't know if I like them more. So I'll say the graphics are fine, or at least pretty good, you know. They're very of that era. It's not, I'm not saying the graphics are bad. The graphics are good for that era. I'm saying, like, just when I look at the Mario 1 backgrounds and, you know, how they're more minimalistic, and same thing with Mario 3, like, or the vibes, you know, as good, you know. You know the deal. Princess in another castle. 6. World 6-1. Of course, we have a Lakitu, because why not? Or at least second least favorite enemy, right behind whatchamacallit, Hammer Bros. Up. Nope. You know, it's kind of weird. Mario can jump on a pipe, and the piranha plants will not come up. Except for in lost levels. I think they do come up on lost levels. You know, like, you're not safe on a pipe if there's a piranha plant in it. Well, I wasn't safe there either, apparently. But, like, he can go down the tube, and, like, the piranha plant never eats him. And we found another water level that's apparently like a hidden area. and 6-2, and I'm praying that this doesn't take us straight to World 8, because I'm going to have to do the same as I said before. That was really, really tight. Like, outrageously tight right there. I don't remember it being this much going on. Whoops. I'm not going to go down no more pipes if I can help it. That would have been a lot. That would have been fine in the original. But remember, Mario has gained 300 pounds in this game, so turning on a dime in midair is not exactly easy. There we go. 6-2. 6-3. I've never played through these levels, honestly. I don't think I ever played through Mario 1 warpless. But yes, the recklessness is normal for me. Because I try to... I just am like that in real life. I try to get through stuff as fast as possible so I can move on to other stuff I'm doing. And because of that, I make a lot of mistakes when I'm doing stuff. Like, I try to cram as much as possible in one day. Like yesterday, I literally played through Mario 1, 2, 3, edited all the videos, did all the thumbnails, uploaded them all at once. Did it all in one day, you know. Spent all day doing that, working on that to get 3 videos out in one day. Because, like, I jam-packed my day with work, and I, you know, kind of just tuning the entire world out, kind of. It's just that's how I work, you know. But, you know, because of that, I make a lot of mistakes. I'm not a stop and smell the roses type of guy. We got stuff to do. We got objectives to do. You know, I want to hit A, B, C, D, E, you know, today, and I want it all done, you know, by bedtime, basically. Oh, a little much, isn't it? Oh, here we go with that hammer bro crap again. He starts doing, whoops. Okay. All right, look, this boss fight. There's 6-4, 7-1. What I feel like there's going to be okay, so bullet bills are going to shoot out 2 at a time now. Gonna just do like a double barrel on poor Mario here. I do like that. I do like the snowy aesthetic. I do like that. That's pretty cool. I'll give him that. Could you imagine the hard version of this where they double up? It'll be like 4 or 5 and it turns into like a Kaizo game. It's not an official Mario game. And yes, I've tried to play Kaizo Mario. No, I'm never going to play it on this channel. If you want Kaizo, go watch Grand Pooh Bear. Or Mitch Flower Power. Either one of them, they probably would do it. Well, Grand Pooh Bear, I know will do it because I think that's pretty much his entire thing is those super expert, outrageously hard Kaizo sort of Mario stuff, you know, where it's like, you know, the levels are basically almost humanly impossible unless you're superhuman, like frickin' Grand Pooh Bear, who can just blast through the stuff like it's nothing. Big shout out to Grand Pooh Bear, even though he's like 1 billion times my size. But I do love Pooh. His videos are awesome. I love Pooh Bear, not Pooh itself. Yeah, he's really good. And there's another one named Ryu Car, I think. He's really good too. I'm having a little trouble with these bloopers getting in the way. Shout out to DSP for being the worst gaming channel. The worst gamer ever. But you know, people hate on Phil a lot, and I'm sure that there's a good reason for it, but I kind of enjoy watching his I enjoy watching the compilation little, you know, this is how you don't play these games or whatever. I think that's fun. I know people hate him though, and you know, wish horrible things on him. I never understood that. I've watched documentaries. He just sounds like a dude that's just kind of he just sounds like he's greedy and, you know, kind of a butthole to people or whatever. But you know, it's like, maybe I'm desensitized to it because I've, you know, done content about like, you know, catfish scammers, like stealing like hundreds of thousands of dollars from old ladies and, you know, a lot of other people like Cyrax, you know, like I've seen a lot more of that. So it's like when I hear about a guy that like is bad at video games that gets, you know, angry at his audience and demands money all the time, it's sort of like, It's like, I get it, you know, but like if we're talking about like on a scale of, you know, evil, we're talking about like evil. Like he's not even close to a Cyrax or an Andy Ditch or, you know, like he's nowhere close to them, like at all. That was really close. I think DSP is a good locale for people that don't want to get into anything too terribly dark, you know, just, you know, into the really dark horror cow stuff like I watch, you know, like Andy and, you know, Cyrax and I don't know any others. I'm just gonna say Andy and Cyrax for my answer, but you know, I just don't find Phil objectionable like everybody else does for some reason. I think he's greedy, but everybody is. I'm not like a fan, and I don't donate to him for sure. I don't donate to anybody. Well, I donate to a few people. He's not one of them. I donate to Omegon because I really like Omegon. He does like videos about like Amberlyn Reed and all them. And I've always liked Omegon. He's always been cool to me, so I'll donate to him. I'll donate to Bearing if I ever catch a live stream. He was always pretty nice to me from what I remember. And, you know, people like that. Suit Yourself is we've had a few little interactions when he got drunk and got a little mouthy, but I still love him. And I gave him some money too once when he needed it, so I'm not super greedy, you know, but I don't whale anybody. And if you don't know what whaling means, it means somebody that basically spends a ton of money on a streamer they like. And like, you know, it's a term, I think, in investing as well. Where basically like they donate an inordinate, is that the word? Exorbitant? Maybe that's the better word. They donate a lot more than everybody else. Like they're the ones that prop up the streamer financially. So like, let's say I donate $5 to whoever, Omegon, right? You know, that's just, you know, out of respect, giving them a tip like, hey buddy, you know, go buy yourself, you know, some, like a king of ramen, basically. I was trying to think, only thing you can buy beer with $5 now. But you know, that's just a respectful thing. Like, hey, you know, sup, bro, kind of thing. A whale is somebody that'll be like every stream, like they're donating hundreds of dollars to one streamer, and like every stream they just show up and like, you know, throw big money at them. Well, you know, bigger money than everybody else. So the whales are basically the huge supporters that consistently donate, you know, all the time. But it's usually very high amounts, like, you know, a couple hundred per stream kind of thing. I don't know where they get their money from, but I'd like to know so I can go make it. Must be nice to have that type of disposable income. But I'm a lot more frugal and a lot more financially aware. If I had a bunch of money, I'd just invest it in the investments that I like that I'm not going to bring up because that'll be financial advice and I don't want to get sued. But I do have a certain investment that I really like, and it to me it doesn't make much sense to invest in anything else. You know, so that's my goal, is if I made a bunch of money, it wouldn't go to, you know, WWE Legends or anything like DSP does. It'll go straight into my investment portfolio. Because that's my, you know, that's what I like. You know, he likes WWE Legends. That makes him happy. More power to him. I like my, you know, investments and watching the stock market go up and down. You know, well, more up than down. I don't like it when it goes down, but you know what I mean? I enjoy investing my money and seeing it grow. And DSP, for whatever reason, likes to throw his money at WWE Legends, which is basically just bejeweled with some animations on top. I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand how he can spend that much money on a mobile game, but he spent tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm just like, bro, you know, you always talk about money, and it's like, bro, just listen. Well, I can't do it because I'm not a financial advisor. I get in trouble. If it went down, he could try to sue me. But like, bro, let me manage your money for a little while. I can get you a lot more than, you know, I can do a lot better than throwing it to Vince McMahon. You may lose a little long term, but you should gain a. Put it this way, it's rather throw it to Vince McMahon or throw it to me, and I'll basically at least probably grow it. I'll say probably, not definitely. I'm not going to start an investment company. I could probably. I mean, I would just be like, you know, give me your money and I'll throw it in the pile with my ETF and, you know, ETFs of choice, and, you know, you get your percentage or whatever minus a commission fee. I think that's what most investment firms do, but there's so much red tape involved in that. It's an outrageous amount of regulation you have to go through to even start that company. What? My controller froze up right there for some reason. I don't know what that was about. It just stopped moving. But with all that said, thank you for watching. Come back and see me again for another Mario playthrough video to help you fall asleep. I really appreciate you, and God bless you. Get some sleep. Good night.